Hello, Canada and crypto fans in the United States and Newfoundland. I'd like to welcome you to the Money Charts channel and all bets trades within one's own risk reward, and I'll even welcome those in Europe and all other nations outside of Canada, United States, and Newfoundland. Alright, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin a little bit. I'm going to talk a decent amount about extra bytes, XBY. Go over a few other things, talk about just the currency game, trading within itself. So then, let's go over Bitcoin first. Not that much to go over in today's session. It was the second inside day in a row, as this was a day where the high was noticeably barely lower than the day before. Well, 4,069.5 here. The day before it was 41.20. The low the day before was 34.74. Yesterday I put in 35.22. And then within this session for today, we can see that the high was significantly lower and the low a little bit higher. So symmetrical remaining within. We've already broken today's high, it looks like. Or, well, it's exact same number, 38, 34, and 35 cents. But it's going to most likely take out that high as it stands within the single hour time frame. Maybe this thing's ready to get going, because it had this move in here. The situation where it really needed to get going was in here. As far as you have this nice great move higher, correct very solidly through time, and this is where it was breaking out past the 18 average of highs, was unable to go any further. Failed breakout. Oftentimes from failed moves creates fast moves lower, and all it did was create a fast move down to here, which has been the bottom since that point. So no big move. Okay, getting a lot of this neutrality in. A lot of support has been established amongst this level. And we had short-term resistance established in here, which sees right now with also resistance in place as well in these two periods here, or three rather. But now this is 5 consecutive hours congesting within this area, congesting amongst the 18 average of highs, supporting this and staying above rather, not even supporting the previous resistance that it had from this morning's session. So interesting to see if this thing is going to go, but everything else still in play. Once it gets out of this symmetrical moving pattern, then expect a decent sized move, either to the upside or downside, as I've been stating within the daily term, because price action is well below the 18 average of lows. That, I mean, you could have a decent spark, quick rally, which is still going to leave question marks if one is to come. And it's not a surprise to have a move of 700, 800, 900 basis points, which can be greater than 20%, and that is just correcting within the breakdown, because there still hasn't been any good price corrections from the 6,000 fall as of yet. So take a look at this on the 3 hour as far as the symmetricalness is concerned that I've talked about. I guess you got a trend line that we can draw in here. It's I don't want to spend too much time on this, but yeah, so this roughly something around here, and then you can even just make it a little bit lower, this general area here, and really getting above this previous resistance level. And that's another reason why I'm not the biggest of fans of trend lines, but getting above this level of about 4,100. Don't be surprised if it sparks a big rally, but we've had a lot of this support coming into place at this 3,600 level on multiple occasions right now. So obviously breaking down below that, I wouldn't be surprised if 3,000, 29, 2,800 were to hit relatively fast. But for now, the short term is looking poised to have a decent sized move, and I wouldn't be surprised if it could at least have a move up towards this 4,000 point for now. But again, very choppy within this range. And let's now talk about extra bytes, talk about some other coins later on thereafter. And I'm going to be using CoinMarketCap to show the chart. I have it set on a log scale dating from May the 2nd, 2017 through that of November 27, 2018. I have been involved in this a little longer than this date comes into play. It was in April, the month before when I got into it. I first bought it at 21 Satoshi and have been doing very well ever since. How did I find out about this coin? Well, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows some things. And right now, my portfolio of extra bytes is about 28 times higher than a normal minimum position size of any other coin. Or it's my third highest coin from Bitcoin and Litecoin. Now, within this, things have changed a lot, as the movements now are extremely tame at this point, and they have been tame pretty much since I re-recommended the buy on such. And I'll get into that in a little bit, but just the last several months, the markets haven't moved up and down like we've seen in here. This beautiful movements that would occur, because when you're able to have moves from like point high to point low, point high, all of these different moves, and even the small ones up and down towards this low, this high, just this little bit in here, this low, this high, this low, and then the payday, like all of the other coins were given at the end of December into January of this year. And when I first started getting into extra bytes, the only place that I knew it was traded was on C/CEX. I do not trust that site. I've heard bad things. Please, I highly recommend not trading on that site today. But at the time, that's where it was traded. So I would do my normal orders that I put in. So I bought in at 20, I put a seller in about 30, put a seller in about 50, sell, buy whatever I could back, and just keep on doing that. I then noticed, and another site I'm not fond with either, is that of Yobit. Now, my biggest flaw with Yobit is whenever I make a withdrawal, it just instantly does it. There's no email verification, there's no 2FA or any of that stuff. But regardless of the fact, I noticed Yobit had the price as well. And then I thought, I could probably work the two sites together and thus doing what the arbitrage was. So there's be situations where maybe one price would be at 250 Satoshi, one would be at 275. I could make a trade. And it was usually worked out to the point where I would have buy orders and sell orders on both sites. And on one site, if say it went up or down really big, I could do a complete arbitrage on the other site. It worked out beautifully. And then came the summer. I can't remember whereabouts in here it was. And then Cryptopia opened up the extra bytes. So now I had 3 ventures in which I was able to trade. And this is where the profits were coming in magnificent. Definitely missed these days. And what was going on was people were buying on Cryptopia like crazy. I was able to put sell orders in over and over and over again, then buy back either on CSEX or on that of Yobit at a much cheaper price over and over again. And it was just creating enormous profits. It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, Yobit had problems with it. C/CEX, it got really bad. And then it was only on Cryptopia where I could trade such. For a brief period of time in here, in these places, Coin Falcon had extra bytes, and I was able to make a few arbitrage trades there, but it was a very small exchange. Now at this point, I'm still able to profit on these plays where it goes to this low, to this high, to this low, high, low. I mean, it's not much, but that's all there is. And as the market was moving up, What was I doing in here? I was selling. And then I was buying silver. And then I was buying a nice computer. And then I was buying this and I was buying that via cryptos. And yet, why did I do that? Because you sell high, buy low. Now, after this fall came into place, I realized within these periods in here somewhere that this thing was most likely going to be heading down, probably breaking down to 500, I thought. So that's what I was looking for. I sold a decent amount in here somewhere. I sold about 75-80% of my position. And then I bought back at the 500 level. And then I stated 500 to buy. You can't see it here, but the price actually did have a nice bounce up to 900 after the original bounce. But after getting back in, I was just able to accumulate as it was. Now, what I was hoping for, and unless some sort of big fall happens here now, was that the timing pattern. I was thinking, what's the ratio going to be with $3,000 Bitcoin and extra bytes? I was thinking this all the way in here. I have TUSD. Originally I had USDT, but then I sold it for the other one. And I have that raring to go when Bitcoin was 7,700. I sold it. I've used a little bit of it to buy some. I bought a couple thousand of these extra bytes just recently, just for a small amount from my test fund. But I was thinking probably between 2 and 250. This was my target and my hope for if Bitcoin was going to go to 3,000, that this would go down in here. But for the entire time duration, since I've said I like this and I've got back in, it has only gone sideways, and I've been able to make small profits here and there. Or, yeah, small compared to before for sure, from the moves that would come into play. Now, I'm hoping this can get on exchanges like Binance soon in time. I can't say too much about what I do know, and what I know is very, very little. But I like the chances that this will have situations later on where I can look to arbitrage later on. And situation like this again, I'll do the same thing again. I'll just sell aggressively, and then I'll turn Bitcoin and I'll turn it into silver. And I do want to get a nice little Macintosh laptop computer, so I'd probably do that. I don't need another computer, I guess, but I mean, whatever. So that's the plan. So if I get the situation of Bitcoin going to 3,000, I'm going to hope this has a fall with it. I was kind of unimpressed that when Bitcoin broke the support from 6,000 down to like 4,800, when everything else seemed to be buying for me, all the other altcoins was going down, this one remained going sideways. That kind of unimpressed me. But the market does what it does. All right then. So let's take a look at some other coins. First one being that of Storm, and I went with Plan B, as I actually bought this as it was breaking out. So it got hit pretty hard. And I bought basically half of a normal position size, lost half of its value. And then I bought a bunch more this morning, as the price action was around 92, I think I got, somewhere in here. I bought about 3 or 4 different coins this morning. And thankfully, I already got a seller in place because it's already had a move within the upside, and just keep moving on. And really trading it so simple, like a computer, or pretty much like a computer. I mean, a computer could do it for me, I suppose, but I have no scripts, nor do I want to for anything of that nature. But yeah, so I got into this one. I was also got a comment earlier about another coin. It's Bread Coin at 55.44. I got into it. I was told it had some nice moves, and it kind of does. A lot of small, I mean, a just enormous amount of below satisfactory moves. And when I mean below satisfactory moves, how many of these little tick days do we see on here? And I mean, like, yeah, I mean, not so much for great moves, but there are some amazing ones, and it just came off of its best. This move, we got a couple here. This was a pretty good day as well. Just as long as it's normal moves, you have some buys in here, you can sell up here, buy back here, sell, buy, maybe get a sale here, buy here, and even sell here is a definite possibility within the way this market moves. And because the action came down right to the 18 average of lows like this, it's like, yeah, if there's ever a time just to look at an entry price, I sure as heck wasn't going to be buying this breaking 7,600. But I entered into this position, and already now on the hourly time frame, I'm liking how the direction of how this is going. So thanks for the comment on this, as I did enter into such. Another coin that I entered into has been getting crushed, so I thought let's get into it now. It's that of Myth. MITH. I got in at 24.44 earlier today, now at 26.43, and ever since it entered the Binance exchange, going down. And then what I did is I went to coinmarketcap.com because I realized this was probably traded on other exchanges as it was. And I thought it was a pretty decent entry time to get in. I think markets go down, then they go up, then they go down. And I see that this has been going down. So I thought, you know what? I got to start entering into coins because that was the plan. That my strategy the whole time, prices get below here, start buying other coins. So that's basically what I'm doing. If Bitcoin goes to 3,000, I'm going to probably pick up another 3 or 4 other different coins along the way, because with my buy orders on the sell orders on Tust, or buy orders for Bitcoin on such, that means I'll be looking to buy extra bytes that I talked about. I'll probably use some of it to buy other coins that I have that are just going to be going down. I'm going to be using some of it to enter into new positions, and I'm going to be using the remainder on Bitcoin. And I'm just going to now bring Bitcoin back up. But within that, my plan for this is if it does go to 3,000, I'm going to be looking to be putting sell orders in for probably between like 4,500 to 6,000, and those sell orders will be used to buy back at 1,000, just in case, because I'm going to have another hedge for such in play. My theory, well, it's not theory, it's all mathematics, it's no theory about it, that if the price action goes down to 3,000, then up to 45, and I end up buying more TUSD, that I'd be looking to be doing so in a 4.5x move. So for every 0.01 Bitcoin that I sell at that point, I'd be looking to buy back 0.045. And then here we're talking about a 6x move, although most likely my sell order is at 6,000. Half of them I put a buy order in for 3,000 again. So if it goes up to 6,000 and I buy whatever amount of TUSD, half of those I put a buy order in for the 3,000 equivalency, and the other half for the 1,000 equivalency. So that is how I'm playing that next level, as I realize that, to me, I mean, I don't want to talk about, I think the bottom is here. It's something I really don't want to do. Rather, high probability odds of a good bounce from that of 3,000. That's how I look at it. And because of such, I think that it's a good investment, good bet, risk, reward play to buy around that level, realizing that if it comes down, it probably would hit around this 27, 28. That's the number I've been thinking that it probably would at least go down to. So I feel like $3,002, $3,003 or so is a relatively safe spot. And when we bring a calculator up and do a 1x of that, that's 33,033. So for TUSD or USDC, 33,333 Satoshi is the level I have my buy orders. And then just a little over 3,000 means a little lower than that number. So like 33,250 represents the ideal area where I think, well, that's where I'm playing. Okay, we're over 20 minutes. I'm going to conclude this very soon. But it does seem that if I do longer videos, I get less views, but I get better ad revenue per thousand, or I get about 206 or something, about 100 every 180 or so people in a long video, or 170 or so, I get a dollar. Where in shorter videos it's like 300 and some odd people. It's math. I mean, it really doesn't mean too much to me, because well, the amount that I make in a month on ad revenue is about the same as I would make if, say, XBY goes up 20% and back down to where it came from for those trades I would make. It's and that's just a small move when you're talking about 20%, and that's just one of my coins that I trade, because I got like 65 to 70 altcoins right now, and I like to have every coin for the most part, and I technically could, but I'm probably gonna add again like 4, 5, 6 more coins in a situation of Bitcoin going down to 3,000. I also got back into Cyber Miles today. I got out of this as it was breaking down somewhere in here. Can't remember if it was in I think it was in the 1600s or 1500s or whatever, but I'm back in at a little over 1,000. Not as large of a size as before, but just something to play for the most part. And I have discontinued trading against Binance Coin. So I've decided, you know what, it's just easier for the most part, and that's really what I'm long, is Bitcoin. So yes, I'm long Litecoin, but I'm using these coins, every single one, as a measure to increase my Bitcoin portfolio. DGBs we're talking about, because I've had some nice sales on that, so let's talk about that as well. It's doing very, very nice. But all of these codes now crossed against Bitcoin. I still hold Binance Coin because I'm going to trade it against Bitcoin. And interestingly, for any random coin, I'll explain how I do my orders. So, yeah, there's enough space to write here. So everything that I have is worth X. So say, for example, I was trading this one this way, and I'm not, because I have a larger position size of DGB. So there's about 6 or 7 coins that I trade differently. Everything else is pretty much traded the same. So with all of those coins, let's just assume I were to enter at 335. Well, I would put in a buy order, and I'd want better than a 10% reduction. So I'd probably put an order in to buy at 281. And I would buy whatever is required to get to that point of what everything's worth. So if I had, say, everything was 0.1 Bitcoin, however DGB at 281 I need for that 0.1 is what I'm going to own. So if I need to buy this much more, I'll do that. Now, in other sites, not so much on Binance, if I have extra Bitcoin available, then I'll put in a really small bid, like 120, and just put like a decent amount. And in case it happens, someone buys, sells it all the way down, and then it's there. But it's pretty much definitely about half off, even more so half off from where this buy order would be. So now I'd want to sell, and what I do is I like to sell for greater than a 10% gain. Now market movements and volatility can change these numbers completely, but given today's low volatility within the general space of cryptos compared to, of course, before, then I would be looking to put a sell order maybe about 45 or so basis points higher. So I'd be looking to sell, say, at 379. So I put an order for 379. I'm going to put 4 sell orders in. Now, in case there's a decent sized move, I want to go about 25% higher than this. So that would be about like 465 or so. And again, I'm going to sell it to the value so that it's worth, in this case, say if it's 0.1, I would sell it so that it's worth that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another sell order in, but for a decent sized gain, close to 2x from my last sale. So maybe at about 844. And I'm going to sell it not to where I'm at, but 1.15x is what I want to own. Meaning, if I need to have something worth, say, 0.1, I want it whatever 0.115 is what I'm going to be selling, how many I'm going to sell. And then the final one, I'm going to sell everything at a large number. Now, if this was Binance, the one flaw I don't like about their orders is they can't be too large. So I can't put a sell order for 3,500. They only do like 10x moves, although they don't have this coin. But on any coin that was 335, I'd have to sell it at like 32.95. Now on other sites, I would probably do something like, say, 6,850 and then sell everything. And I mean, I've never ever had that hit on me. But that's how I will place the orders. And then when a trade occurs, I'll assess the message of the market. Where do I want to play? And then go from there. So now moving on to Gigabyte, finishing off this video then after that, because I really didn't do too much more at all today, really. Single hour time frame. Now, what I did do was thankfully go for a bigger sell margin, because when it comes down to it, how I'm playing this, relatively similar to Komodo and other coins of higher values, is once a trade is in, it doesn't take long for the next trade. I bought, let me just check the exact numbers. 261 was my buy. So I pretty much got near the bottom. Now when I was deciding where do I want to sell from here, I thought at first, let's go around 299. But then I thought, you know what, I want my differential from where my buybacks and my sells to be much higher. So I put my sell order in for 315. And I've sold again at 332. And I'll keep on selling every 3, 4, 5 percentage points up until I got like, literally, I got like 25 sell orders in for this one. XBY, I got like 60 or 70 sell orders in. With codes like Theta, I got like 25, 30 sell orders in. Komodo, I got like 30 sell orders in. Because I play them for larger stakes. But I realized going 261, 299, that's a differential of like 15 points. But by going 15 points from my differential of the buy to my next sell, well, that worked out to be about 55 basis points, or that of 20%. So then, if the market goes back down to 261, then I'll get the original sell order back. And then if it goes to, like, say, I put another buy order for like 280 something, then if another sell order comes in, I'll put a buy order in for about 300. And then just keep on doing that over and over again. And I'm going to, every single time within this market, this is how I play it within these codes, like theta, XBY, and all these other bigger ones. When the prices are low and I determine this to be low now, I want to get all alternate coins. So for so if I can sell for say 0.005 Bitcoin, I want to buy at the lower price 0.005 Bitcoin worth, and then barely make any Bitcoin at all in that transaction, but make more DGP. In the middle area, which would be when prices are overextended in any form, as well as in this general area here, I want to do what I would call like this, the in between. So if I'm selling say 0.02 worth, and I'm selling, then I want to buy maybe 0.017 back, which will get me a little more DGB and then a little bit of a Bitcoin as well. So that's the middle ground. Then when it gets to the upper area, when they're extremely overextended, or price action is just basically over 1500, over 12, 1300, 1400, I'm going to do equal buyback. So if I sell, say, 100 of these coins or whatever, I want to buy back 100 at the lower price and profit just Bitcoin along the way. And then within technical analysis, whenever you get these beautiful moves of any type of large amount, if I'm normally looking to buy back at 15% back, and I'm coming off of move of like 100 or 200% straight up move, I'm no longer looking to buy back at a 15% reduction. Now we're talking about 30, 40% reduction to when I'd start buying back, because I want to play the volatility within the market. But for now, we have DGB making an attempt at reversing this trend and starting a bull run. It's either going to do that or create a failed breakout. It's already made a large, loud statement within this move. And because of such, it needs to hold, stay above this, within the 18. Stay within this 18 moving average, 3-hour time frame. If it goes way up from here, I want to see it stay and hold above 300. But as it plays now, I want to see it stay and hold above 288. Now, I started this video off with a Foster Hewitt intro, because he did hockey games as one of the first broadcasters, where he'd say, hello Canada and hockey fans from the United States and Newfoundland. So I thought I'd start my intro within such. I'd like to thank you for watching a longer video. Thumbs up, thumbsing it up, thumbsing it down if you think it sucked. Comments, I really, really do like reading comments. And have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.